So it's been about 2 weeks since the install was finished, and I haven't had any problems out of it at all. The car runs fine, no issues. During the install, one thing I wish I would have had sooner was a Dremel. The Dremel would have made cutting the plastic pieces way easier. But other than that, it was very simple and straightforward. And I hope this video helps you guys. Alright, so I'm wanting to record bits and pieces of this process while I'm going along, because I want to be able to show you what the car started out as and take you down to what the car is going to end up being whenever I'm done with it. I don't really know if these videos are going to start to gain any traction or not. I'm not really worried about that. I just want there to be a record, so that way I'm able to show other people, maybe one day my kids, about how the car started. So the first thing I'm going to be doing to my 2013 370Z is I got a Takeda, I'm not exactly sure, cold air intake. It is the Takeda Stage 2 Attack. I believe that's exactly what it was called. And I know the very first step of this is going through and removing the bumper. Alright, so I know there is several body pins along here and a screw on this side and a screw on the other side. I also know that I'm going to have to remove this strut brace. So I'm going to go ahead and start removing pieces, and I'll start recording again when I have an update. Now, I know to remove these body pins, it's just a simple little, I use a flathead, put it in underneath, twist it. So most of what I'm going to be showing, most of what I'm going to be showing, I have watched YouTube videos and learned actually pretty much everything I'm going to be doing from YouTube. So I would like to just let that be known, because this is my first time doing anything to this car. I have worked on cars before, but it was nothing as serious or as in-depth. So now the next step, after you pull out those body pins to get the bumper off, would be there's two little screws right here. They go through. There's one on each side, and I might have to get an extension, but they should be 10 millimeter. So I got me an extension, and I'm trying to record this on my phone right now while I'm working on stuff. But I'm just gonna take these screws out, and then I'll come back once I get these two screws out. All right, so I got those two screws out. Now all it's held in with is just body pin, or like little, it's like a little snap. It just pops into place here. But something else I forgot was that up underneath, if you have your protective shroud, your little underguard, you have to take, I don't know if you can see it or not, but there's screws that you have to take out from the bottom of the bumper before you can fully disconnect the bumper. So I believe I almost have all these screws taken out. I don't know how many more there are, but they span across the whole length of the front of the bumper if you have that little undershroud. Right, so now I have the whole entire underpiece taken loose. Let me put these up. So from what I saw in other videos, they just kind of slowly worked it, and they said it can be very intimidating if you've never done it before, because you can apply a good amount of pressure. So hang on, I'm going to try and set this up to where you can see me better. Alright, so I have it set up in a chair right now, but what they said was that it can be very intimidating. And the guy showed me, he said he likes to put his hand behind the bumper and push the wheel well out of the way. Alright. So that side popped out. Now we're going to move over here to the other side. And we're going to do the same thing again. We're going to start working it. I'm trying to get my hand behind the wheel well, if I can. Come on. There we go. It is a little bit intimidating, actually. Alright. So you can see these clips, there's where that screw was, and these clips here just pop it and hold it in place. And I believe that the bumper is completely ready just to pull off. So I have you guys set up a little bit ways away. So I'm gonna go out there, I'm gonna try to attempt to take the bumper off and carry it inside so that way it doesn't get messed up more than it is. Okay, so since I have these fog lights here, I have some connectors here that I gotta take loose on either side. So I'm gonna take those loose and then I'll be right back. I'm having an extremely hard time getting this clip off. So what I'm doing is I'm gonna take the fog light out of the bumper instead. So what I did was I removed two screws, two Phillips head screws, one here, one here. And I'm going to pull that light. Oh, actually it looks like there's two more that I need to pull out. Yes, there was indeed actually four. There was one there, one here, and one there. And now I'm going to try and remove the fog light. Let me set my screws down. Now I'm going to try and remove the fog light completely out of the bumper. It just slides right on out. And then I'm just going to set this up on the wheel well for a minute. Now I'm going to carry this bumper inside. Here, let me set you guys up. Alright. What I'm probably going to do is, since I have that light completely taken out, I'm going to work with taking off that connector, and then I'm going to put the light back into the bumper. Okay, so I got the bumper off and put inside, and I put the light, I unplugged the light and screwed it back into the bumper. So now I know that we're going to have to take off this little crash bar, this little foam piece, and it should just slide on out. Boom, just like that. And I don't think I'll have to mess with the actual, I think this is aluminum, the actual aluminum crash bar. But I do know that the filter for the cold air intake sits right in here somewhere. So I might have to, but I don't know yet. We'll cross that bridge when it comes. So for the next part, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be taking off this crash bar. And these are 14 millimeters, and there's some on each side. So I got these taken out. They were in there pretty tight, so I got my impact out. But I'm sure you could bust them loose with a wrench. I'm not going to lie to you, I didn't even attempt. So I'm pretty sure the next step will be just to lift and pull. I don't know if they're connected up here anyway. It feels like they might be. Oh, yep, you can see through there, there's two bolts holding it on. So I'm going to have to pull out these little push pins here, I believe. I'll be right back. After I took those push pins out, I had to lift this weather stripping up, and then it was just held in place into these little holes with these little clips, multiple of them. And you just kind of got to keep working it. It's being pretty difficult right now, but there's a lot of little clips that's hooked into all the way around it. Kind of see it over there. So I'm just going to keep working this until I get this popped out. So I just kind of kept taking my screwdriver and working around the edge very easily, gently, trying not to break anything, and it does eventually just pop out. This can be a little intimidating because you can see all the little clips, if it focuses, along the edge here. There's quite a few of them. What I'm going to do next is make sure these are the right size. After I finished taking those two little bolts off, or those little nuts off, it just lifted straight on out. It was connected there underneath the plastic covering, and right here. Alright, so the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to work on taking the, well, I guess the intake off. Not necessarily the intake, but what goes to the intake. I'm going to take off the hose here, this filter, this vacuum line, take out the mass airflow sensors on both sides. So in order to take the air box off, I loosened that hose clamp, grabbed a pair of pliers, pinched that little clamp, removed it from the vacuum, unscrewed a screw that was here, and then it was held into place into these two little I don't know what you call those, just like compression grips, and you just pop it out and out. Now I got to do it to that side too. I got that other intake off, so the next thing I need to do is there's these little pathways you can see on either side. I'm going to remove these so that way the pipe of the intake is large enough to come through here. Sorry, I got a little bit behind on the videoing, but I took off this protective shroud that was here so I have a little bit more room to work here and here. I had to take out this little gateway thing that went into here. There was two bolts down here at the bottom, one there, and a little screw up here at the top, so don't forget about that one. So now I'm going to attempt to do the same thing over here. There's a screw there, the little push pin thing right there above that little rivet, the screw here that you all got to take out in order to remove this whole piece, Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to remove this crash bar here, so that way I just have more room to work, and there's 4 bolts on each side, so there'll be 8 in total to take out. And I'm going to be using a size 12 millimeter socket to take them out. Now this side. Just droop down a little bit. Alrighty. That the crash bar is taken off. I have plenty of room to do pretty much anything I need in here, because I'm pretty sure I'm gonna have to sawzall this, because I don't really know where that's connected at. So I'll probably just cut it here and here, so that way I have a whole lot more room. Maybe. I'm gonna look and see if I can find another way to take this off before I cut it. There does not appear to be a way I can take this off, because it looks like if you look down here, it's all connected all down through there. It's all one solid piece. See how it's connected over here on the side. Get my finger down it right there. And I'm assuming the same way over here. So when I'm cutting with this sawzall, I'm about to be real careful to watch out for these lines. This is a little nerve-wracking. Yeah. But we are almost halfway done with the whole install. Well, I say install, but right now it's just been a tear down. So I'm cutting out this plastic piece so that way the piping can run through here, because I got my saws on my blade and everything. I just want to say that if you guys do go this route and want to try and cut this, be very careful. There's a lot of stuff in here that you could potentially fuck up, and I don't want you to think that because I'm doing this that it's okay to do this, which, I mean, I guess there's really no other way. I just don't want you to fuck up your shit. You get what I'm trying to say? But I'm gonna continue to chip away this plastic here, cut at it and bit by bit and break it out until this is just a little bit wider. I'm gonna cut this piece out here, cut down right here so that I can keep this mounted there, and then cut this so I can pull this piece off. Then I'm gonna try and level this out up here some, and then I gotta do the same thing over there, but I gotta be more careful over here because there's a lot of shit that can fuck up over there. Once I get this done, I'll come back and start the installation of the cold air intake. All right, so I was sitting here trying to get this piece to go in because the mass airflow sensor was here, and on the stock intake it was also on top, and I just couldn't figure out why it wasn't going, so I went back and looked at my YouTube reference video, and well, it's because this piece goes on the driver's side. Whoops. So your mass airflow sensor will connect onto the bottom, and it'll sit in here just like this. Swoop down, come through the bottom. That's when the rubber hose will connect onto it, come in here, and then the air filter will sit here. Alrighty. Alright, now I am finishing putting on the last couple hose. Last couple hose clamps after I had done got all the pipes ran through and everything. Did have some difficulty on the driver's side when I was putting on the but when I was cutting the plastics out. I did hit the one of the AC condenser lines, but it was okay because it didn't go all the way through and there's no leaking. So I'll probably have to throw some JB weld or something on that just to make sure it doesn't start leaking, because I can't go without AC. Can't do it. I should have flipped this one around. Put this on here. And I do have my impact set to the lowest torque setting, so that way I'm not over tightening it. Be sure you don't forget to rehook your vacuum hoses, and don't forget to put your mass airflow sensors in on the bottom here, and don't forget to plug them back in.
It was also a lot easier to do it when it was not connected.
Yeah, it was also easier. I had to disconnect this, raise it up, put the mass airflow sensor on. It just made it a lot easier because I was struggling for a minute. Now I need to cut this hose in half so that way I can put it on either vacuum line. Alrighty, I got my little bit of hose cut. Pop it onto there. Oh, this is gonna be a little difficult. Oh, I need to probably find my off my old intakes, off the stock intake. Where are they at?
So he's trying to find what off the
Old clamps off of the original intake. That way I can use them to help secure the hose on there a little bit. Maybe. I don't know. We'll see. Start putting on that one. Maybe the hose should have been a little bit longer, because that is way too short.
Are you sure you don't have it too far onto that silver piece?
Maybe, but it's gonna go over that hump on that there too. That might work. But I'm gonna take this. Come on, work with me, baby. There we go. I just hope that doesn't slip off. I don't think it will. We'll find out, I guess.
And now he's just going to do the other side.
Yep. Alrighty, so I'm about to have everything hooked up, and I'm about to start it up and see what happens. Hopefully I get everything hooked up right and it should be good. I mean, it's running, so I'm pretty sure that it's all done right. You can actually feel it sucking in air a little bit right here. It's pretty cool. I'm not feeling no kind of leaks or nothing. I'm gonna give it a rev.